What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about when we will get Red Hood and Nightwing gameplay. This has been something that has been asked, or at least maybe not directly asked to me, but I've seen it around, right? Talked about in that, well, look, they've set themselves up pretty easily with Batgirl and Robin. We already got to see that. They did a good job of introducing both of them at the same time. We got to see a lot about how they function. And then also Mr. Freeze, when will we see the same thing for Nightwing, for Red Hood, and also, in general, what can they show in addition to that, and when will they show it? We're going to talk about that in this video. Really quickly, though, I'm going to try and sum up these promotion things all in one go. We're very, very close to milestones on literally everything. This channel, my second channel, Discord, and Twitter. So if you guys haven't subscribed to any of that stuff, either of the two channels, joined Discord, or followed me on Twitter, all of the stuff is in the description. Obviously, just subscribe, red button right underneath the video would mean a lot to me. We're chasing, again, a lot of big goals for all these different things. I don't say this enough, and I normally say it at the end of the video, but I truly do appreciate all of your guys' support. A lot of people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed, which is a fun fact, which is, again, okay, but we want to get you guys into this community. So let's talk about this. Look, when I talked about the release date, so I still believe, I'm still on the bandwagon. In fact, I've led this train. I'm not even on it. I'm actually the conductor of the game coming out in February or March. And again, we've talked about reasons for that in the past. So really, that does help us out in my mind, because I'm gonna use that as my roadmap, that we're gonna get this game in February or March. I think that when you have a game like this, when all four characters are equal, that's important to note too, because you can play, ironically, you could play this entire game as Nightwing or Red Hood, and you don't have to ever touch Batgirl or Robin. Okay, so what they showed you, or what they showed, me, you, everybody, back in August, could literally be pointless. It doesn't actually matter to anybody if you, the people that chose any other character. Again, two characters. So it's very important that they get those two characters out. I know a lot of people in particular are excited about Red Hood, about how he's going to play. I see that as like a popular search term. I see that as something that just a lot of people talk about. Even in when they ask, who are you going to main? Me, I think it's going to be Batgirl. I have seen a lot of people say Red Hood, though. So again, it's very important we get those two gameplay things out there, or those two characters out there. So here's the deal. How do I think they could do this? Well, let me tell you, they did set themselves, whether or not you agree, by the way, with the gameplay mechanics, which, again, I do have a lot of concerns there, but no matter what, they set themselves up well with the design of how they're going to show it, right? They showed us two characters, they showed us part of a mission, and they showed us Mr. Freeze. And I think that's honestly, and they showed us, part of Gotham, all that kind of stuff. So they did a really good job, I think, in showing like a vast amount, like a lot of different things in that 7-8 minute gameplay. Okay, if they're gonna do it again, I think they should. I think that's the way they need to go. They need to show us a tag team mission, or again like a singular mission, because we know that other characters can drop in. Show us a mission. One of us is Red Hood, another one is Nightwing, or vice versa. Doesn't matter, and we're doing something else. Honestly, how I said a cool thing. They want to do the every week job posting. If they wanted to do an every week, and like I said, every week seems a bit, not very likely. Every other week, once a month, whatever. If they want to start announcing villains, that would be very nice, because I would like to know how many villains are in this game, which villain, right? We've talked about some of that stuff in the past. I think this is a good way of doing basically all of those things in one. You get to show the gameplay for these two characters, and then you also probably get to show a villain. Honestly, and I don't know, again, I'm not into comics, I don't know about the lore, but I do think Joker would be a really, really solid one to have a mission that we're showing these two characters do. I feel like there would be some dynamic there that'd be really cool. I feel like you'd want to get probably another high profile. You could, and I think they probably should and will, show side villains that are maybe smaller, maybe not a lot of people know of, but to get maybe at least one more big time villain, obviously besides the Court of Owls as the main villain, to get another side villain, but that's a big name out there, is a really good idea. Joker would absolutely fit that bill. So if I were structuring it, that's how I would structure it. I would want Nightwing, I would want Red Hood, and I want them to do a side mission with Joker. That would be my prime thing. Now, when will we get it? Well, I have been proven right, and I like to say that only because people call me out on all the things I say wrong, so I need to tell you guys when I get things right so people understand. They are in their couple weeks, couple months of darkness right now, okay? The game was announced. They did their interviews. Pretty characteristic of any new game announcement, right? Like, especially something like this. All makes sense, right? And in fact, again, I've been telling you guys that all along. So they do that, and now they've gone dark. They've gone dark, I believe, for what, like 3-ish weeks? We're on week 3 of them just not saying anything. Now, yes, they post like a picture or something on Twitter once a week, whatever. That stuff doesn't count, by the way. This is the general darkness, I mean, is like interviews, big interviews, is like new gameplay stuff, different features, things like that. Or trailers. Those are the days of darkness, basically, that I'm talking about. So we need to get out of that. And it depends on when the game releases. That absolutely, I think, has an impact. Look, I know, and this is, I think, what I should have maybe cut to the chase to earlier. I know a lot of people are going to jump to the Game Awards. Now, here's what I want to say about the Game Awards. So everybody's saying, well, maybe we'll get Harry Potter or Hogwarts Legacy. Maybe we'll get Hogwarts Legacy gameplay there. Maybe we'll get, more Gotham Knights stuff there. I get it. Jeff Keighley and Warner Bros. Are tight. Okay, they're really tight. We've talked about that before. We've used that really as our basis to connect them to anything Jeff Keighley does. When Jeff Keighley does Gamescom, when Jeff Keighley does the Game Awards, when Jeff Keighley does literally anything, Summer Games Fest, we say, okay, well, Warner Bros. Has a good relationship. Maybe they'll do something. And ironically, they keep not doing something, so maybe we should start to drop that, but I don't think we will. But here's the deal. The Game Awards, and I've said this before, Game Awards are good for probably like 2 to 3, and I probably am going to repeat this because we'll probably have a specific video of like, will Gotham Knights be at the Game Awards? Okay, we'll talk about that as we get closer to it. But Game Awards is good for a couple announcements, 2 to 3 big announcements. Now, this year's different. This year's next gen. This year is just messed up in general. This year, a lot of things got delayed. And because Gamescom, I know some people didn't like it. I thought it was actually really solid in terms of the amount, the quantity of announcements we got. There were a lot. I think Jeff Keighley's positioned himself in a way where he can get a lot of announcements for these shows. So I think this year there will be way more things at the Game Awards than normal. It's not the time, though, in my opinion, to do another 5 to 10 minute gameplay presentation. To be quite honest with you, that is done, I would say, almost entirely on their own. They could line up with IGN for an IGN first. That would be something to consider. It could be a Game Informer cover. That would be something to consider. Those are the things I would look towards. I feel like the game, now that it's announced, now that it's out there, and we've always said this, it's big enough on its own. It's a big enough property on its own to do it by itself. It doesn't need the help of anything else, although you can think about it, it used DC fandom. You could also have said the same thing about Hogwarts Legacy, where Harry Potter, Wizarding World, that's big enough. They could do it on their own, but they didn't. They chose the PS5 event. The PlayStation trailer for it, by the way, is over 10 million views for Hogwarts Legacy. So would they have gotten that on their own? Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe not. So I do still agree that they can do it on their own, and I think that ultimately they absolutely will do things on their own. But you do have to look at these scenarios. So what I will say is this. Game Awards, to me, seems unlikely. I don't think Jeff Keighley's going to give 5 to 10 minutes just to show more Gotham Knights gameplay. Yes, there's been game announcement trailers that's been 2 to 4 minutes, so you could say, well, Alex, it's kind of close. Maybe they could just do a trailer of the two, or of a villain. Maybe you do a villain trailer for Joker or something. It would seem kind of odd, though. I think they do it on their own, and I think they do it probably and I know I'm giving myself a large window, sometime in November or December. Now, what I will say to get people, because I feel like you guys, some of you guys, and I've heard this before too, you guys gain gaming knowledge from me. That I tend to tell you stuff that maybe you didn't already know, which honestly I really, really do appreciate it. So let me tell you this. November, in terms of Thanksgiving, is exactly what you would imagine. A lot of companies go silent. There's not a lot of news, especially like I guess on Thanksgiving. Even the couple days before, it kind of goes quiet. It normally goes quiet, picks back up. Game Awards, right? Leading into the Game Awards, it gets big. And then I would say around December 12th to 15th, somewhere in that middle week of December, things do go very, very quiet. In terms of gaming, now there's always movies and there's stuff like that. And I'm sure, and there always will be things, by the way. But in general, with Christmas, with New Year's, companies take time off. A lot of companies take a lot of time off, actually, which is good because they honestly, all of them deserve a lot of breaks. So that's normally what happens. So if we're not going to get this thing in early November, which to be quite honest with you, with next gen, with all the next gen games, going to be kind of tough for Gotham Knights to kind of stick out to say, hey, we know we're not out right now, but we have Watch Dogs, and we have Assassin's Creed, and we have Cyberpunk, we have Miles, and we have Demon's Souls, and we have the PS5, and we have the Xbox. I know we're not any of those things, but we want to show you something. They could do that. They may do that. I don't know. I think sometime in early December would be the best time. Not necessarily at the Game Awards, but maybe around Game Awards time. And you got to think in general, too. This isn't just about, I know the title and the topic is about Red Hood and Nightwing, but in general, you do have to think of they're eventually going to speed things up. When they come back out, and by the way, this will be the case. When they come back out from the darkness, it's go time. If the game comes out in February and they say, okay, early January, we're back out there could be developer diaries or commentaries. There could be more trailers. There could be more gameplay. There could be more interviews. They could be a Game Informer cover. Again, they could be an IGN first. All these things I think will happen very, very quickly in a very short amount of time. Now, if the game does not come out in February, March, if it comes out like in June, or if some people think it comes out next fall, well, yeah, that pushes things. I don't think we see Red Hood or Nightwing for the foreseeable future. Probably not until 2021. But if the game does come out in February or March, or even January is an option, I think early December is probably the time that they'll start to be a little bit more active. Another thing to keep in mind, too, January is when they started the redacted thing this past January. I think it was like January 10th through 15th, somewhere in that range. So that is, again, gaming developers or gaming publishers, gaming in general, they tend to follow things that have worked in the past in terms of like key dates and stuff. So if this does not happen in December or in late November, let's say, January, early January, when they did Redacted this past year, is absolutely a time they could do it this upcoming year. They say, okay, game comes out month and a half, 2 months, we're ready to go. We're starting right now, and let's go on with it. So I think that's somewhat of a rough timeline. I know I gave a lot of different time. There are different timelines. I understand that, and I know I gave quite a few of them, but that's at least how I see all this stuff playing out. So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? When do you think we're going to see Red Hood and Nightwing gameplay? What do you think it's going to be like? I know the whole point was talking about when, not what, what we're specifically going to see. We can talk about how they're going to play in general, and we absolutely will as we go forward. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think, any other videos Gotham Knights related you want me to do. As always, again, make sure you guys are doing all the stuff, subscribing, hitting the bell, following me on Twitter, joining Discord, all that good stuff. Thank you all so much for the support. Again, we're getting very, very close to a lot of milestones, and I have all of you guys to thank for it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.